Quarterback School Live. Yo, happy Friday, Friday light, whatever day it is, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. It's St. Patrick's Day weekend, if you couldn't tell. We're in the mood. My guy, Stephen Vick, checking in. Appreciate everybody coming into the chat. Oh, checking in. Make sure I didn't have the mute button on. Been having some audio issues. You know, there's always something, y'all. There's always something. But I think we've solved it. We're on semi-regular Friday live here. Just, lots of different ways this thing can go. We're just pumping along here. It is, what do I like to call this season? It's draft season, but it's pro day season. And I know that there have been some pro days. I have not watched a single highlight from any pro days. Pretty sure Caleb Williams is doing his next week. Got some buddies that might be going to that. And we're here to talk some ball. I'll talk through kind of all the film I've got, give you some previews on what's coming down the pipeline. Quarterback School Patreon community for next quarterbacks, kind of in the next wave. I'm probably going to circle back. Is there an echo? Don't get me on an echo, JB. If there are audio issues, let me know, though, for real. What was I talking about? Oh, next tier. So I'm going to go and probably do another, what I would consider the next tier of quarterbacks here in the draft class, and then potentially get some one-off videos. Now, I have to preface this by saying I don't have the entire catalog of every single college football, all 22. Okay, so if you come at me sideways with, hey, you need to watch, Little Johnny from, Sisters of the Poor University, I don't have that film. Now, I can reach out to some sources and potentially get it, but it's one of those things where, I plan this shocker. Okay, I plan on probably who are going to be the best draft available guys every year and try to make sure that I have that film for this time of year. But I don't have every single person's film that will probably get drafted at the quarterback level, at the quarterback position. Okay, so the next ones that I'm going to try to get to, I'm going to try to do Joe Milton today. I don't have all Joe Milton's film, so you get what you get and you don't get upset, right? Try to do some Spencer Rattler, and then from there, we'll see. I'm going to circle back to the top of the draft here at some point, just because I want to solidify in my mind that 2-3 spot. Right now, I've got it pretty thick pencil, Jaden Daniels, then Drake May, but it's not pen, okay? I hate pencil. All right, appreciate you guys coming in, checking in. As you come into this thing, do me a favor, hit that like button. Good to see some familiar names in the chat. My guy, Eric Snyder, yo. Tony, appreciate you. Oh, baby. Tom Burns going deep into the middle school, junior high football world. We can do this quickly. Can you go over blending run and pass concepts with formations? Example, duo, out of bunch, and snag. Yeah, I mean, whatever you want, whatever your favorite combination is, you just mirror it together and have multiple iterations off of it. I would tell you 7th, 8th grade level, if I was running bunch duo, I'd be feeling pretty damn good about myself. I would probably want to do more of a true play action as opposed to like a power pass. I think power pass snag. I would do more like cross or post cross or deep corner cross with an in on the backside, if you've got somebody who can spin it a little bit. But really anything. The other thing I would challenge you to do, if you've been watching any of the Quarterback School Patreon college stuff, I've really fallen in love with all the 0x4. Now, I loved 0x4 stuff, half a decade ago when I was play calling at the high school level. But I feel like teams have gotten even more surgical. And if you were at lower levels of football, like middle school football, you could really wreck shop with people with 0x4 stuff. Now, it takes a little bit of coach them up. But if you've got some smart guys in the perimeter, that could be an easy way to take advantage of some lower level ball. All right, we got all sorts of stuff in here. I saw a couple Davis shout outs. Joel, appreciate you. Oh, Joel, I like that. Martin. Oh, Martin. God, this is a sore spot for me. Hey JT, is there a chance we can get another April Fool's video this year? These are always one of my highlights. Thanks for your content and greetings from Austria. Oh, throw another shrimp on the Barbie. Appreciate that. Sorry, I had to. So April Fool's right around the corner has been something that this channel has enjoyed in the past. I can tell you that it's coming up quick. Like March, we're already halfway through March. In the past, when I have done April Fool's videos, I had already had them well thought out before this time. I do not have one right now. Now, I have not done one every year. And I feel like last year, I personally felt like I went a little bit above and beyond. You might disagree. You might be sensy. But that took more time than a normal video for me. And they're fun. They are fun. I have an idea for one. But you got to understand, like, part of me doesn't love venturing into that world because what this channel is and what it's great for me, and hopefully you enjoy, is it is obviously football centric, quarterback centric, although I feel like I do and have more recently veered off into a little bit more scheme specific. Like if you get in the Patreon community, it's a lot of run game, pass protection, and I could see if you weren't like a true quarterback, if you are only a true quarterback person, and like advise, like you're just interested, hey bro, what do you think about the draft projections for this guy? It could be frustrating, but my interests lie other places in football with just the quarterback position. But the April Fool stuff for me really allows me to get kind of like outside the lane of what that looks like. Now I have an idea, and they're overlapped. Like I think of, not like I hate the Venn diagram thing, but it's a simple analogy where like there's a quarterback element, and there's also like, you know, maybe not cultural, but like political, cultural, like just enough to like make me feel uncomfortable, which then usually makes me want to do it. The problem is this April Fool's, I'm not going to be in the studio. So I would have to get it done like really quickly. Not that this is a fucking studio. This is just my house. But it's over. It falls on spring break this year. And so that's just the reality of the timing of it. But I do feel like sometimes I let these April Fool's videos fester for years, where like they kind of like organically grow, or I'll just get pissed at someone and want to kind of come sideways at them. But this one has been one of those festering ones, and I think that there probably is enough information for me to kind of do it. We'll see. I mean, it's one of those things where I probably think it would be funny. I probably think many people probably wouldn't think it would be funny, but that kind of makes me think those are kind of the indicators that it would be a good April Fool's video. We'll see. Sorry, you just got like the verbal diarrhea of the April Fool's process journal right now. But basically what I'm saying to myself is, if I want to do it, I better get on it, and I better get on it pretty damn quick. I kind of liked the the interviewing thing last year of me interviewing essentially myself. I could do that format again, even though this person doesn't necessarily, people don't say that this person looks like me, but that format might work. Trying to think how else I would do it. I would have to think about it. Might have to reach out to a couple people to get some ideas. All right, what else we got? That was fucking way off in the weeds. I'm sure I missed a bunch of stuff. Jack, ba-boom. Top 10 quarterback rankings. I'm just kidding. Good work. Jack, I appreciate the comedy, my guy. The rankings are coming. They will probably be coming April-ish. I know I'm sitting down with a couple buddies next week, and I'm sure they'll ask for some iteration of a ranking. And I feel like I've done them in pencil for this group. They're not that hard to find, but we'll see. I'll do probably a formal video at some point. I just feel like I need to, I keep telling myself that I need to do more YouTube stuff just because it's been so Patreon-centric because of issues. That will be a good one for the YouTube channel. Joe, what's good? Joe, I don't know what the deal is, bro, but I see your videos, and I'm sure it's because I subscribe to your channel, but I see your shorts, and I think the shorts are older. I don't know, or you look younger. Either way, good for you, man. I enjoy them. Joe, I have been watching a lot of Sam Sulek. I'm not gonna lie, we watch a lot of him in the garage gym. I am making a pretty, I don't know, and again, this is one of those things where I acknowledge that I come at this with a lot of privilege. Had a huge head start in life, being able to play in the league, but 2020 was a struggle for many people, and one of the positives that came out of it for me was the garage gym. I'm a big fan of the garage gym. My guy Coop, I watch a lot of his videos. I don't know him actually, but I like his videos. And so yeah, we do a lot of the garage gym stuff, and I enjoy it. And we're going to make it. I'm excited about making another addition to it pretty quickly. So that hopefully will help with the arms as well. JT Alexander, ba-boom. JT Mac Jones and how it got traded. I did see that come across the ticker somewhere. It seems like young QBs are getting traded at greater frequencies. Do you have any insights into this? I don't know if I would say insights. I would say, let's put ourselves in their shoes. Okay. So you get drafted somewhat early. I forget when Howell drafted. I don't think he was a first round pick. He's like a mid round pick, I think. But Mac Jones has obviously run out of runway in New England. Like they've run its course. And so do you want to stay there as they draft someone else in the first round and know that you're not going to play? Or do you want to go somewhere where potentially you can essentially rehabilitate your career? So you can sit, maybe you can learn, maybe maybe those guys haven't had an opportunity to sit and learn from watch somebody who's actually successful at the position, how they operate, how they prepare, how they get their body right, how they interact, all those things that are really tough to do when you just are thrust into the guy. And those guys, and the other part about it is there's no secret nowadays. If you get drafted high, you're playing. And I think that there's good reason to play. And if you don't play well, and essentially it's less than a coin flip, right? It's like, I think it's like 33% or 30% of first round guys work out. So, do you want to be essentially on the fast track out of the league, or do you want to go somewhere that they want you? And that you might fall into an opportunity where, you get yourself ready to play, and then you get another opportunity, somebody gets hurt, and you're the guy, and you get that next opportunity. Some people only get one opportunity. Some people get no opportunities. So, for the guy who gets traded, it might not be ideal because you don't get to decide where you're going, but at least you're wanted. I mean, look around the league. There are a number of guys who, all of a sudden are without a home, or, don't feel like they're wanted somewhere. And that can be a real struggle. So I don't think it's the end of the world. It's obviously not great, but I do think it's better than being on the streets, no one wanting you, because that can happen, and it will happen real fast for many guys. What else we got here? My guy Kyle just spamming the chat. I saw someone over drop kicks. I saw Daniel Jeremiah had Rome over Neighbors. Do you agree with that? Like, this is wide receiver school? I don't think about it, bro. I think both those guys are really dynamic. I think the dude, I'll be honest with you. This is a pretty good problem to have. On the All-22, sometimes I can't tell who the hell is who at Washington and LSU. Like, there are so many dynamic dudes out there that's a great problem to have. There's, I think, multiple guys at both of those schools that are going to get drafted super high. So, no, I don't know. I don't have a take on who's on the wide receiver. Noah, boom. No idea how much that $10 with that symbol means, but I appreciate it. Thanks for getting through the technical difficulties for us this week. How do play callers anticipate being hot? Are they expected to have answers every play, or be good enough to have them situationally? I think that question means, how are offensive architects, coordinators, play callers expected to have hot answers? I would say sound systems have hot answers for every play. Now, uh, I'll give you examples of both. So in the league, I absolutely think you have to have a hot answer for every single play. I used to think of it in its simplest forms. Okay, so this helps me kind of categorize things. For every play, playing quarterback, you would want to be able to have a hot answer. And really, that starts with a zero answer. So, what are you going to do versus zero on this play? You're going to run it, you're going to check it, you got a hot answer. Or what is our hot answer? Hot answer doesn't mean necessarily the same thing to both sides. So, one side can be protected, the other side can be hot, and vice versa. So, zero, hot answer, man answer, zone answer, open answer, closed answer. Now, some of those are going to be the same. If it's a pure progression, it's a pure progression. Now, that pure progression might be different if it's hot. And so I would say in the league, you absolutely, and I would even say high level, high school, college football, you need to have a hot answer or a zero answer for every play. And that can be different. It can be check audible. It can be check the protection. It can be bring extra people in. There's a bunch of different ways to solve zero and hot. But you absolutely should have a hot answer, in my opinion, to be sound offensively every single play. Now, anecdotally, calling plays at the high school level, we absolutely did not have a hot answer every single play. Now, why was that? That was because we were going crazy fast. We were going always we had the potential to go at kind of like Mach speed as fast as you possibly can go every single play. In addition, furthermore, I'm calling the plays. So I can look at the defense in between plays and realize, oh, they're going to punt block us. We better have a zero answer. Or, oh, they're playing coverage. They're off. They're soft. We can run whatever the hell we want. And so in that regard, I can tell you over the course of 3 years of calling plays at the high school level, we were probably hot less than 10 times in a drop back pass situation. Now, we could run into a hot, we could run into a pressure, we could screen into a pressure, those types of things, not worried about. But actual drop back hot, where the quarterback made a throw that's hot, less than 10 times comfortable saying. And so that was because I could call the play. So if I called from the sideline, if I gave us a formation and a snap count, and we're in a peak tempo where you hustle up, motion shift, fake clap, peak, everybody looks to me. Well, if I can see everybody blitzing, well, then I'm going to call a max protection shot or a perimeter screen or a run that we like, as opposed to the quarterback having to solve it. And that was just how it worked in our scheme. So it doesn't really matter as long as you have those answers. If I'm the answer, then that's fine. I can handle it as the play caller, head coach. But if I'm not the answer, if it's the league and you got to solve the problems at the line of scrimmage, is the pass protection unit solving it? Is the quarterback solving it? What's the communication look like? And having that toolkit to be able to do it in real time as it happens when the lights are on, that's the super skill set. Boom. There you go. Pounds, not dollars. Greater than dollars. I would add that Bitcoin, you guys, I've been telling you. Fuck, man. I've been telling you, don't come at me sideways on this Bitcoin thing, because I've been offering half price courses on Bitcoin for years. Okay, years. And you guys didn't buy any? Or you bought very few courses like that. You should have bought more Bitcoin. I'm telling you, this digital thing's not going away. Digital property, you're welcome. But yeah, I appreciate the pounds. Heads up. Pedro, Uruguay. Very cool. Appreciate you. Hoopstock 69 just joined. What'd you join? Join the channel? Appreciate it. What are your thoughts on the top 4 quarterbacks of the draft? Top 4 quarterbacks right now. I think I do this every live, so I might as well do it again. In pencil, Caleb, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. I think last time I said J.J. McCarthy, but that was because I had not watched Michael Penix Jr. Right now, Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, I don't know. I honestly don't know who I would pick. Who I would pick. I would probably pick Michael because I know Michael personally a little bit from Elite 11. Do Do I think he would project better into the league? I don't know, man. There's a lot I like about JJ McCarthy. They're right there. 4A, 4B for me. What else we got? Mr. Myrtle. Ba-boom. Appreciate the super chats, y'all. It is an easy way to make sure I see your channel, make sure I see your question, and I do appreciate the support. It's not that I'm trying to skip over the chat. I'm not a chat expert by any means, so I'll try to get to as many as I possibly can. Appreciate you guys being patient. Mr. Myrtle, or Murdy, can't tell if that's an I or an L. That's a dude from Sandlot. That's funny. Jim Harbaugh just turned up in LA and took away all of Justin Herbert's weapons in a few weeks. Can't wait to see how that works out. I mean, it works. It's working exactly how you thought it was going to work, you guys. What'd you think Jim and Greg were going to do? Come in here and not run the ball? I mean, this is coming from a quarterback who probably likes to run it more than any other quarterback that you've ever known, met, watched, talked to. I mean, I'm serious. That's how much I love to run the ball. If you've seen any of my clinics or courses, you know that I enjoy the run game as much, if not more, than anybody. That being said, watching Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman operate, it's not that I don't think that they're going to be successful. They're going to win games. Jim Harbaugh wins games everywhere he goes. And can we acknowledge the fact that the Chargers have essentially fumbled the first part of Herbert's career, this rookie deal element, the early on, part of the next contract. We'll see what it looks like, man. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of their quarterback coach, Shane Day, buddy. We'll see. We'll see. I don't honestly have any like hot takes other than the fact that it's not easy to play quarterback when there aren't got dudes out there on the perimeter that you trust to win, separate, and have a relationship with. And so we'll see. Boom. Shane, my guy, appreciate you. What do you got for me? You have mentioned your time at Elite 11 a couple times. Who stood out the most from you from your time doing that, both on and off the field? You mean so I think of it as two different tiers. When I went to Elite 11 as a youngster, I was a counselor. I don't think it was even around as a camp when I was a camper. So I think I went to Elite 11 2 as a counselor, and then I've been to the last couple, maybe 2, maybe 3, I think 2. There are guys like trainers across the country that go to every single one and have gone for years. I don't have that kind of relationship with the camp. It did mean a lot to me coming out when I was going to be draft eligible, to get to know a bunch of guys that were going to be pro quarterbacks and just be around it. And then I went back and trained with the guy who started that, even when I was playing in the league, Bob Johnson, Rob Johnson's dad. And so it's meant part of my quarterback journey, and it's been fun to kind of reconnect on a small level with that camp. The guys who have kind of popped the most to me when I'd been there were obviously Bryce Young the first time, Caleb the second time, counselor wise, those guys probably. Then actual camper wise, this past year I thought Julian Sand was not by far. I thought he had the best camp. I thought he spun it the most consistently. The other dude that I really liked, God, what was his name? Noland, the big lefty. I forget. All these guys, honestly, when they're committed at Elite 11, like they've since like recommitted somewhere else. Maybe not just Air, but like other guys. So I try not to tether them necessarily to schools. Rayola was another guy, obviously, that popped this past year. I think he's going to wherever his dad went. I played with his dad. Makes me feel old. But yeah, it's a really cool experience for a number of different levels. I basically, when I go, they ask me to essentially run a couple classroom sessions. So hence the quarterback school. We do a little bit of schoolwork. All right, what else we got? There you go. Air going to Ohio State. So both Julian and Era there, huh? That's wild. That's wild. The other dude that I thought the year before that was really good that I really loved is I think I did a dude who's already transferred like 3 times. He was at UCLA this past year. Moore, I think now he's at Oregon, maybe? Question mark. We'll see. You got to be. Let me put it this way. Also, if you're a young quarterback watching this, you have to be so okay. You must be here. So fucking good to get invited to Elite 11, the actual camp. Like I know they have regional camps that they kind of like the finalist part of it. Every finalist there is fucking good, like so much better than what I think of like a normal high school quarterback. Just polished, strong as hell, big. Like you can tell, been really coached really well. Like I mean, it's it's so damn impressive. It really is. Stephen Vick, I've seen you ask this question a few times in here, or someone else did. What are your thoughts on the R4 system, Dub Maddox? My thoughts are I really like Dub. I don't know anything other than like the terms for the R4 system. I've been around a few coaches that have had a lot of success and good things to say about it. You're probably not asking the best dude just because I don't love to necessarily like pigeonhole myself into, oh, I'm this system guy, this system guy, this system guy. My systems is probably somewhere in the middle of all of those things. So you probably need to reach out to a person who actually has firsthand experience running it, living it, and or just Dub. Hunter, it's the first transfer for Moore. Maybe I'm thinking he was like committed somewhere else then. I don't know. Regardless, I was actually having this conversation yesterday with a quarterback dad. The the transfer world, both at the high school level and the college level, and because I'm not in intercollegiate athletics every day anymore, it's easy for me to kind of forget about it. But the way that people move and transfer schools, even at the high school level in this area, it's just so different. It's not good, bad, or I'm not making a value statement on it. It's just different than when I went to school. It's not like transfers didn't happen when I was at high school. When I was in high school, a quarterback transferred in my sophomore year who was really good. When I was in college, guys transferred in. So it's always been a thing. And community college at the college level has always been a thing. You get community college transfers. It's just so more prevalent now for a number of different reasons, and most of them that are empowering to the athlete, I think, are really good. The part that I get bummed for is that sometimes I feel like you just miss one of my favorite things about college athletics was the experience. And I'm not sure I would have gotten the same experience with the same group of guys if I would have bailed 2 years in or shown up to a new place after 3 or 4 years. It's not that it's theirs is better or mine is better. It's just different. And mine was so special to me, and it was such a great trampoline in my life that's the part I get bummed out on. It's not like, oh, they're running away from competition or, bro, if you play quarterback, you got to play. Like, that's the truth. You got to play. So if you're at a place where you're not going to play and or the coach leaves that recruited you or whatever, insert anything that happens, you got to play. I was fortunate enough to play after 2 years. Not everybody is. That's the reality of it. So Alexander Wilson, ba-boom. Appreciate the super chat. I was reading Kurt Warner's comments on Michael Penix, and he really likes his tape. The only thing he didn't like was some of his open technique. Do you know what he means by open technique? I have no idea what he means by open technique. That just means like not lined up. I don't know. I didn't read those comments. I usually, for the vast majority of the time, really agree with what Kurt seems to think. We're probably in pretty similar lanes. The vast majority of the time, he probably is a little bit more extreme on certain things than I am, as far as like the pure progression world. Or, but I've enjoyed Kurt. A really cool. I don't know if I've ever told this story. See if I can remember exactly how it happened. I think I played against Kurt in my first start in the league. I think he was with Arizona. They beat us, and I was playing for the 49ers week 1. I don't know if we ever really if we did, I don't remember ever really visiting before I was a high school head coach. And I was basically like putting together the offense we were going to run. And unless you're a head coach or unless you have like a huge network of friends that are coaches, I didn't. I was just first time ever coach, had never necessarily coached anything. And now I'm the head coach, offense coordinator, play caller. And so I was looking for feedback on our system. And I think Kurt somehow like put it out there like, hey, nobody ever asked me for feedback or nobody ever asked me for help. And so I just texted him, or I don't know if I DM'd him or tweeted at him and said, hey, I'm interested. Will you look over our stuff? And he went over it like a pro's pro, like in depth, in detail, and gave me some pretty good feedback about certain things that we weren't doing. And I would say most of them were check down centric. Like we didn't have a full, like what I would consider in the league, you have a full catalog of check downs where you can basically tag any sort of route for the running back at the end of a play call. My system didn't really have the capacity to do that for a number of different reasons, but we just basically allowed them to run options over the ball as a check down. And I would say we threw less than 10 check downs in a game over the course of 3 years. But during 7-on-7 and practice, you do a lot of check downs, but we didn't have a full catalog like you would in the league. And that was his main point, and I totally agree. And I thought it was great, and it was really cool for me to have another guy that I, knows the same systems that I know, be able to look at our stuff and be like, see if there are any holes or blind spots more than anything else. So I always appreciated him for that. And then quarterback wise, I personally don't watch a lot of other guys' stuff, but everything I've ever seen from him has been pretty thoughtful and insightful. But I don't know what the hell open means. Sorry. None of the above 101. What is the best decision for the Bears? It's to draft Caleb Williams and trade Justin for as much as they can. I say stick with Fields, given he's survived their awful system. Starting over would set back years. I mean, they're already starting over, bro. Like, they have a new coordinator. It's already started over. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I go through this same Justin Fields kind of like some different iteration of it every single live. I'm not necessarily going to dive into the weeds of it right now. I think the decision's well already been made. I would be really surprised if they, if Justin is still there playing quarterback in the fall. It doesn't mean that it won't happen. It just means that it doesn't make sense to me. See what else we got here. Shane, why does the air raid allow for such loose footwork? So Shane, I'm not certified, okay? One of the reasons, and the reason I've never been in the quote-unquote air raid, but I would imagine why it looks so loose compared to a guy like me who's a little bit more comfortable in a precise, like timing rhythm-based system or structure, is because so much of it is about going to grass and reading space, and that won't be precise because it's all based on what the defense is doing. I prefer, and I think at higher levels of football, you have to be precise because I prefer to dictate what we're going to do as opposed to reacting to their space. Oh, it's this, we're going to do this. Oh, it's this, we're going to do this. We'll all settle up over here. That to me is a recipe for a lot of inconsistency and hard to do when you're dealing with great athletes at every single position. My guy Nate in the house. Scout Team QB. Scout Team QB is good stuff. I actually had a lot of fun being Scout Team wide receiver as well, bizarrely. Oh man, this is a name I can't even pretend to pronounce. Music Angel? Was that right? Did I get it right? Music Angel? All right, we'll go with that. JT, love your content. How do rookie quarterbacks prepare for the draft after their pro days? Is it a disadvantage for them to prepare with college level coaches only? Okay, so 2 parts there. It depends, I would say, is the first one. If you're a guy, I would say some guys probably take a break, and I would probably recommend taking a break just because this year is going to be really long for rookie quarterbacks. You got to think, you prepared for your last year at college, you played your last year at college. From there, you went right into the bowl games, to draft season, to combine prep, to pro day prep, to draft, to rookie mini camp, to rookie year, longer football season than you're used to. So it's a long ass year and you're like right in the middle and it hasn't even started yet. So I would take a break, a hot break, and then I would get with whoever your quarterback trainer is. I don't necessarily think of it as like working with your college coaching level, with college level coaches only. I don't think anybody does college level coaches only. Those college coaches are coaching their guys like they get paid to do. I would say that the space now for private coaches is so good and borderline saturated, if I'm being honest, that in your area, wherever you live, your region of the country, there's probably somebody really good that you can and probably should be working with. And if you're a guy who is post pro day, pre rookie mini camp, pre camp, your days are pretty wide ass open. Probably you're probably not in school. You're probably working out, taking care of yourself like you never have before in your life, and working on your craft. And that's probably what you're doing and what I would recommend you do. What else we got? I will say that I still am recovering from like a voice thing. I don't know if you can hear it in my Patreon videos. I try to edit out the coughs, but I have a hard time talking as long as I used to talk. I feel like I used to do like hour, 2 hour videos, no problem. But now I can definitely feel like still recovering from like some sinus infection or something. All right, handful of other things in here, and we'll get out of here on a little Friday. Ryan Harris, hey JT, what in your opinion is the greatest football game ever played? My vote would be Boise State versus Oklahoma. Oh man, is that the Statue of Liberty play? Is that what it's called? Yeah. My favorite game was my first ever NFL game I ever went to. Went with a high school buddy. He got tickets to the NFC Championship game. This was the year that the 49ers won the Super Bowl. They had Dallas at home. And early in the game, maybe the first series, Eric Davis picked off Troy Aikman. It's the loudest it's the loudest sound my body has ever experienced. It was awesome. Oh, Shane, good point on the Keelan. I'm going to butcher his last name. Is it DeBoers? Whatever. The former Washington head coach, who is now the Alabama head coach. And forgive my ignorance, but like I'm assuming that dude is calling the plays, like the head, like offense coordinator, but also play caller. That might not be the what would it be? That would not be what I think most people do. I guess there are some guys in the SEC does it, like Heupel. But that offense for me, and if you watch the Michael Penix videos, you probably know this because I go into like side rail conversations with myself about how much I like that offense. But I do think it is very unique. It is very small collegey in my mind. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of bespoke shit that like you don't see a lot of other systems do, but they also have a lot of volume. Like they do a bunch of crazy shifts. They do a bunch of cool formations. They formation F you, but they also chuck the ball down the field. And so there's just a lot of really cool stuff. I really like that offense. Bro, Joe, you were there? That's amazing. That was a sweet day. That's very cool. Terry Pops, I said what's up too. Yeah, I didn't know that he's called plays. Oh yeah, Kiffin does it too. Fair. All right, well, I think that's probably a wrap, y'all. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Have yourself a safe weekend. Get some green on. And yeah, we'll come back on the other side. I'm going to go watch some Joe Milton right now, get into some Spencer Rattler after that, and we'll see if I can summon up the courage for April 1st video. If I don't, take it easy on me, all right? We'll do them eventually. I'm not sure it's going to be an every year thing, but I do have an idea, but I gotta work through the mental gymnastics. A lot of thoughts going on in Duder's head about it, but I want to make sure I'm not sure I want. I'll put it this way. This will be my final thought on this. The amount of prep that I have to do for these fucking April 1st videos is so much more than I would have guessed. And to like make them somewhat funny to me, like laugh by myself when I'm making them, I have to do like a bizarre amount of like watching this person in like podcast or like whatever, like videos to like get somewhat of the mannerisms. So we'll see if I can stomach that. I'm not sure I can. But all right. Appreciate y'all. See you on the other side.